So, welcome into this Sunday, my dear ones, and welcome into the season for nonviolence. It began yesterday and it will continue for 64 days. If anyone would like a handout with regard to the affirmation for every day, please go to the counter and you should be able to pick one up there. And so as we embark on that now, we open ourselves up to an invitation that has been extended to every single Science of Mind center in this world, on this plane, to consider these points, to ponder. And today's point to ponder in Living the Truth is we are asked to see a world wherein people are in alignment with their highest spiritual truth. We are asked to vision this and see a world where all of us are in alignment with our highest spiritual truth. And so, of course, that world always begins with you, and it always begins with me, and that's the invitation to see that. And then Ernest Holmes reminds us that we are now as spiritual as we ever are going to be. The essence that we are is the essence that was, is, and always will be by means of us. And so we're not going to grow more spiritually at all. We're already fully grown. We're already finished and cooked and delivered. And so it's up to you and to me now to seek the revelation of that, so to speak. Our only job is to constantly and continuously, and Ernest Holmes tells us we'll be doing this for the rest of our days, the rest of our life, which is eternal. That's a long time. And it's almost headachy when you try to comprehend it. But you and I will be constantly and continuously unfolding more and more and more of this true and deep essence that we already are. So there's nothing for us to get. And we can stop looking to meet God, Ernest Holmes says. Stop looking to meet God, because we meet God in every breath that we breathe. We meet God in every day that we live. We meet God in every experience we have, whatever that is. So we are always meeting God. It's just that you and I don't recognize it. And so we're called to recognize that more and more and more. I mean, think upon this. Here's a question. Here's a Zen koan, a conundrum for us all to think. What if you and I could put aside all thought, all memory, all feeling, all assumptions, all intentions, all attentions? Would we be male, female, or neither? If we could put aside all thought, all memory, all feeling, all assumptions, all perceptions, all intentions, all attentions, would we be good or bad or neither? That's the question posed to us. And of course, when you take it to its depths, the answer comes, I would be life. I would be life. I would be the Christ consciousness. I would be the Buddha mind. I would be the essence. I would be spirit. That's what I would be. And here's another thing. This was something that I remember Dr. Ken Gordon doing some years ago. He asked the question, do you all want to be enlightened? Would you like to be enlightened? Would you like to experience enlightenment now? Yes. My goodness, would we? There are about 20 of us who would. So for the 20 of you that would like to experience enlightenment right now, I invite you to close your eyes. Close your eyes. Take 3 conscious connected breaths. Just feeling the breath and nothing else. Just feeling the breath and nothing else. Feeling the breath and nothing else. Just being quiet, just being still, nothing going on, just breathing. I'm just breathing. I'm just breathing. And now, let go in your breath all of your judgments. Breathe again. Come back into the room. Did you succeed in doing that? For those of you who did, congratulations, you are now enlightened. You are now enlightened. Step forward and I will pranam to you. That's all you have to do to be enlightened. Let go of all judgment. And then there's nothing left. You are outside of thought, you are outside of memory, you are outside of feeling, you are outside of perceptions, you are outside of assumptions, you are outside of intentions, you are outside of attentions. You're enlightened. Now, that's the challenge. That's the challenge. Did you ever think it would come down to one word? Judgment. And the invitation to let go of all judgment. All judgment. What a quiet mind we would have. What a still and settled body we would have. What a great constitution we would have. We would enjoy great assimilation, great circulation, great elimination. We would have absolutely a sense of well-being, total well-being, if we could do that. And so how do we get there? What helps us to get there? Well, the first step is to become mindful as much as we possibly can be, to get mindful, to pay attention, to live the life that you're living consciously, for me to live the life that I'm living consciously and be aware of the way I'm living, in the way I'm thinking, in the way I'm feeling, in the way I'm doing, in the way I'm whatever, choosing, deciding. Mindfulness helps us to get there. Mindfulness, you see, because we know what we know already. How often have you and I been given this amazing opportunity to put on the mind that was in the Christ of Jesus, to enter into that sense of the Buddha mind of enlightenment, whatever you want to call this thing called wakefulness, called consciousness, that all of the teachers taught us, it's yours to do. We are told we are capable of being what we are in truth and what we are in essence. And mindfulness is the way. Now, along with mindfulness comes spiritual practice. What is the spiritual practice? Anything at all that will help us to be quiet, to be still, to be awake, to be alert, to be attentive, and to be alive in our living. I mean, ask yourself some days, are you alive in your living? Or do you sometimes just drag yourself through a day and you hardly know how you got through it? Or is it a hop, skip, and jump other days, and then all the various shades in between? Here's another thing that we are invited to do today. So again, once more, I'm going to ask us all to close our eyes. Just to close our eyes, to be comfortable. And now, as much as possible, in a way that you can do this comfortably, with your eyes closed, form a V with your hands. Raise your hands up and form a V. Form a V. And just breathe now comfortably with this V. You have just become the symbol for the science of mind and the practice of the heart. You are open at the top and you've become a funnel of energy, a funnel of energy. Now see yourself with your eyes closed and your hands still high. See yourself, your essence, rise up out of your bodily being and go through the ceiling of this sanctuary, up beyond this world into the cosmos, and beyond the cosmos into the very essence of the divine. That's how vast your reach is now. You are now in the essence of the divine. You are everywhere present. There's not a place, a spot where you are not in your essence now. You have reached all there is in creation to reach and beyond. And now, let yourself see that energy as you lower your hands. Let the energy pour into your body, into your body, filling your body with its light, filling your body with its light, entering every pore, every atom, every cell of your body, filling your body with its light, so that your body becomes a pulsating energy of the true essence of the divine, of the true essence of the divine. And now within that awareness and understanding, bless your life and bless all of life. Bless your life and bless all of life. Bless your life and bless all of life. And now come back in the room knowing a change has occurred. A change has occurred. You have endeavored to touch the depth and the height and the width of the truth of your being. And that experience is available to you all of the time. And so, whenever a problem presents itself, if it's a difficulty in raising your hands for any length of time, close your eyes and picture your hands in a V shape and go through the exercise. And whatever that challenge is, let it dissipate itself in that truth energy that you allow yourself to identify with and become. This is as real as anything is. That experience is as real as you sitting on that chair in this room. It just happens on the invisible side of life. And remember, life is all about energy, energy, energy. And when the energy leaves your body and mind, that's when we're on to a bigger and more expanded experience of what it is to be the I am by means of you and the I am by means of me. The animation has left the body. The life force has left the body. The energy has left the body. So every time you want to energize yourself, you can do that exercise comfortably. And let whatever is weighing upon you, whether it's weighing upon you from within or without, let it dissipate itself in the energy and the true essence of you and your being. And then remember, there is only one life, one beingness, and all of us are an aspect of it. So consequently, we all belong to each other and are integrated with each other. You see, we need to stop seeing ourselves as two things, which we do in a dualistic world. We need to stop seeing ourselves as human and divine. I mean, we don't have to tell ourselves anymore, I'm a human being having a human experience, or I'm a human being having a spiritual experience. We can say to ourselves, I am a spiritual being having a spiritual experience in form. I am a spiritual being having a spiritual experience in form. So that we're not dichotomizing ourselves all of the time. It's my humanity, it's my divinity, it's my whatever. I simply am a spiritual being having a spiritual experience in form at this time, in this place, right now. I will always be a spiritual being. I will always have a spiritual experience, whatever it is I'm experiencing. And so we can cut out that sense of dichotomy when we know that, when we more identify with that and become more comfortable with that. Now are we the sons and daughters of God. Now are we the glory of God, fully alive, or can be. But I have to know that, recognize that, identify with that, and feel that before that can be expressed and experienced through me, you see. Now am I the greatness and the goodness and the allness and the fullness and the essence of the divine. Now I am, so we can stop postponing the time when we're going to get there. And it's Alan Watts says that we always shelve that experience. We're so caught up in the search for this that we put aside the experience of it for later on. We're just so caught up in the seeking, in the looking, in the searching, that we put aside the actual experience for later on. And there's no later on. There's only now and here. And so think about that. You can take who and what you are right now, the essence of you right now, and you can allow that to free you up to gather in what you know of yourself, the goodness of yourself. You can take the goodness of yourself right now, and there's goodness in us all. No matter how debauched a life we may have lived, there's still goodness in us all. Because we can fall, and we can stumble, and we can fail, and we can make mistake after mistake after mistake, and yet that core being essence of us is in pristine state, untouched by any of it. It's blazing soulfully and brightly as ever it was, is, and will be, and it's intact. So I can take what I can remind myself of, what I can feel comfortable with, what I can believe to be true about myself as far as goodness is concerned. And I can take that in the bowl and look at that in the bowl. I can bless that. I can bless it. I can be grateful for it. I can be willing to share of this goodness that I have already in my resonance and in my belief system and in what I believe about myself. And in the blessing of it, and in the blessing of it, and in the blessing of it, and in the sharing of it, and in the sharing of it, and in the sharing of it, it multiplies and it multiplies and it multiplies and it multiplies and it grows and it grows and it expands and it expands until I become so comfortable with it that one day, one moment in imagined time, I awaken into the God I am. And it's real, and it's whole, and it's full, and it's complete, and there's nothing lacking. You see, you and I live in a life that's full, complete, whole, nothing lacking. And unfortunately, what we do is to bring a lacking consciousness to that fullness, and therefore consequently stop and block our experience of that fullness by so doing. So if we put aside all thought, all memory, all feeling, all assumptions, all perceptions, all attentions, all intentions, we have strained out the dross, and all that is left is pure life, and it's you. And it's you right now. That's the truth of your being, it's the truth of my being, it's the truth of everybody's being. But all of those things, all those machinations of things in the scramble, clog up the funnel. And that pure life cannot flow in the way that it's capable of flowing because we stop it and we block it through our thought, through our memory, through our feeling, through our perceptions, through our assumptions, through our intentions, and through our attentions. We have the blueprint. It's up to you and it's up to me to use the blueprint, to build upon the blueprint, and to start identifying with the idea that I'm a spiritual being having a spiritual experience in form. In form. My goodness me, think about it. Look at the good that you have initiated in your life throughout your life. It's amazing. It's not something we stop and pause and consider and think about very often, but it's a good thing to do. We're more inclined to look at our faults and failings, actually, because we're drawing to the negative on the human side of things. But if we would pause and understand that I, because of my good intentions, even just my good intentions, and my good thoughts, and my good feelings, and my good deeds, I have contributed to all of the goodness in life, in living, all of life and all of living. Think of how much more I could express that if I was aware of what gets in the way of me being all that I am, being the best that I am, in the way of thought and memory and feeling and perceptions and assumptions and intentions and attentions. I mean, it's a bit of work for us. It's homework. And we can choose to take this and run with it or not, or we can choose to stay in the miasma of unconsciousness and mindlessness and so on. Or we could assume the sovereignty right now that is ours as heirs to the kingdom of life, knowing that the kingdom is right within us, right where we are, this kingdom of fullness and wholeness and completeness and goodness. We are here to be life in celebration. We are here to be the glory of God fully alive. We are here to know the truth of our being, experience the truth of our being, and celebrate the truth of all being as a consequence of that. And as I said last week, the invitation is to know yourself as celebration and allow your song to be hallelujah. Whoop-dee-doo. Do you know that hallelujah simply means when we're told that all those angels surround God, the Godhead, and sing hallelujah and sing hallelujah, translated into our understanding of what that means is whoop-dee-doo. Yabba-dabba-doozy. Woohoo! Yeah, that's what it means. It means an energy that is filled with delight, playfulness, joyfulness, funness, if there's such a word. That's what that means, because you and I exist only for the delight of life, the delight of spirit. Indeed, you are the delight of spirit. So the next time any one of us feel down or moody or depressed or anything, let's remind ourselves, I am the delight of spirit, even if the response is, yeah, in a pig's eye you are. It doesn't matter. At least you're telling yourself the truth and you're triggering off a different response to what you're allowing yourself to feel in the moment then. God is, and God is all there is. If that's the truth, God has to be you and me and everything else as well, showing up in all kinds of shapes, makes, and forms and energies. But the truth is at the center core of our being, which is the essence of ourselves, which is all around us and all about us and huge, and the body is in it. And we have to stop just identifying with the body, but identify with all the essences that we are around us, about us, and filling us, and so on, and reminding ourselves that no matter what the ailment is, it doesn't have to remain, and it cannot remain when I stand in truth, and I stand in my sovereignty, and I know that right where I am, God is, and where God is, all is well. It can only be well because there is not God and anything else. The anything else is the illusion, and it must dissipate itself when I know right where I am, God is, and where God is, all is well. Do we get it? Have we got it? And so it is.